All right, young man. We sat down and we talked about this years ago, a while back when you got here. First to go through, let's just do the history then. Coming from the NAIA to Division I, and then we'll go through the journey.
Well, it's been a bit of a journey, Jerry, as you know. When we got here, really they had 5 sports and had just started their 2 soccer, so they had 7 sports. Today we have 16 sports. Now, as of today, we've got 16 sports. So it's been a heck of a journey, and this sort of caps it off. Starting football, of course, was the longest range of all the goals, because football obviously is the one that takes the most money, that takes the most time. And so really everything we've done has kind of been a build-up to where we are today.
You found a conference, first one to just get in, and once you made the move up, and then you found a home once you got to Division I to the Southland. That was a process in itself also.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think it was a process in that we had to convince the Southland folks that we were for real. And that meant that we had to begin competing with them on the field and beating them on the field. And so we were able to do that, but that takes time. That takes years to be able to do it.
So now you got a football coach, you put the budget together, and now you go from just standing on the sidelines to now actually being on the field in, what, 2 years?
2 years.
Now, just talk about, I've asked this question before, how did it boil down to, how did you get it down to the finalists before you made your decision?
Well, the way I always do, Jerry, we talk to a lot of people around the country, get a list of who's interested. I always call the biggest name coaches in the country, and I say to them, number one, hey, are you interested in our job? And when they get done laughing at me, I say, well, okay, if you're not, then who do you know that is? Tell me about it. And so that's how you do it. And then you start calling different guys, and once you get somebody that shows up on 2 or 3 lists, hey, you got somebody that's probably a keeper. And as I said with Vic, his name showed up on everybody's list. So we knew that he was one that we really wanted to be serious about.
One of the things you mentioned during the introduction, the same thing I heard from Bobby May, it has to do with character, family man, and being committed to the job. And one of those that you didn't mention, but Bobby did, don't embarrass the school. And the man that you have today seems to fit that category.
Well, absolutely. And I think it's my job to make a good hire in such that they won't be somebody who's going to embarrass the school. But in our case, it's a little bit different situation. That number one on our list is always the fact that they have to be a good Christian leader, because that's number one with who we are. And so, as I said, that was top on my list. They had to be a good Christian leader, they had to be a good family man, and then they had to be a good coach in that order.
Now he has to put a staff together and start bringing in recruits. Will that process be on the coach's meter, or will you help in the process also?
Well, I'll certainly be happy to help in the process, but it's the coach's staff. And so, as typically is the case, it'll be the coach's decision.
And you all intend to start taking freshman recruits as early as when?
Next fall.
And those kids will they have to apply on their own, or how do they get in touch?
No, we'll start recruiting.
Okay.
We'll start recruiting immediately. I've already got kids who have contacted me because they see that we're playing football, they've heard we're playing football, and they've sent me their information. They want to be recruited. So that information's already been passed along to Coach Seeley, and we'll start the recruiting process immediately.
One of the things I mentioned to President Sloan was with football, it also brings about a bump in freshman enrollment, students on campus.
We certainly hope.
Just talk about what that excitement, what that will bring now to HBU.
Well, obviously we're hoping that's exactly what's going to happen, Jerry. We're trying to grow the enrollment of this campus overall. Certainly adding football, we know down the line at some point that's going to add another 100 males to this campus, even if nothing else happens. But the idea is that we'll add a whole bunch more people too. And if you think about it, not only are we going to have football players, but we got to have more cheerleaders, we got to have more band members. I mean, all those things are going to contribute to the size of this campus. And then just the fact that we're having football, I think, is going to bring some notoriety to campus. It's going to make more people take a look at it.
Is there anything else you can think of that I might ask in the future that I hadn't asked today?
I'm sure there are going to be 1,000 questions you might ask in the future about football, Jerry, but I think that's probably it for today.
All right, then. That's Steve Moniaci, Athletic Director, HBU Huskies. This is Jerry Lee Willard Jr. with the College Sports Report.
Thanks, Jerry.